Donald Trump's trade war hits the auto industry as the president announces 25% tariffs on all vehicles made outside the US. The US journalist who was inadvertently added to a group chat discussing military plans has published the text from that group as White House officials double down that the information shared was not classified. The presidents of Ukraine and France say Russia must accept a 30-day limited ceasefire without conditions.
The Duke of Sussex resigned from a charity he set up after a row between the trustees and the chair of its board. Prince Harry co-founded Centrebell in 2006 to help people in southern Africa living with HIV and AIDS. His decision comes after the charity's chairwoman was asked to resign after she reported the trustees for abuse of power, bullying, sexism and racism. And a small village in the Cotswolds announced restrictions on coaches after receiving huge numbers of visitors each year. A bakery can sometimes see as many as 20,000 visitors in one weekend and up to 50 coaches a day. Brazil's former president, Jair Bolsonaro, will go on trial for allegedly plotting a military coup. Justices on the Supreme Court agreed there's enough evidence for the case against Mr. Bolsonaro and 7 of his allies to go ahead. He denies trying to block the inauguration of his successor, President Lula, and says he's the victim of political persecution. Mr. Bolsonaro never publicly acknowledged losing the election in 2022, and thousands of his supporters stormed government buildings after Lula took office. The trial is expected later this year. Maryland is marking 1 year since a cargo ship crashed into Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge. Last year, the ship lost power and hit the bridge's support beams, killing 6 people who were working on it at the time. The owner of the ship agreed to pay $102 million in damages. Officials say the new bridge should be finished sometime in 2028. And Denmark has welcomed changes to a Greenland trip by US Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife Usha, which has been reduced to just to a visit of a US space base. The Danish foreign minister said the decision was very positive and that Denmark had nothing against Americans visiting their own base. Initial plans for Mrs. Vance to attend a cultural event were cancelled after criticism. Now, the head of the Sudanese army says Khartoum is free after government troops took control of the capital's airport from the paramilitary rapid support forces. The army released this video showing the RSF retreating across a river south of Khartoum. It's a step towards ending 2 years of civil war in Sudan, which the UN says has caused the world's worst humanitarian crisis.
South Korea's worst ever wildfires kill dozens of people and destroy ancient temples. And